Ahoy there, it's Skyward Shield. Welcome to Week 7 football talks. I'm joined by Bill. Say hello, Bill.
Hey!
Today we have a fun slate of games for this week, I might say, but we have to recap last week. We had like 4 teams on bye: Raiders, Rams, Cowboys, and I forgot the other team, but no, the Buccaneers. But so 3 teams that suck, and they deserved a later break, and 1 team who really actually needed it, in the Cowboys. But anyway, I forgot who's on bye this week. Oh,
I
Green
know.
Bay and Denver are 2 of them. I know that.
Yeah. Green Bay and Denver, and then other teams.
I don't remember. It's fine. But we have to recap some of the other games, and congrats, minus Dallas, since they had the week off, which they deserved. All the teams won. Detroit
Woo!
pulled off an ugly win. Houston, I thought was going to be an ugly win, but then they pulled it off comfortably because everyone who just strokes Blake Bortles' dick to no end, saying he's going to be the best quarterback since Aaron Rodgers, maybe. Well, that's a little exaggeration on my part. There are 2 picks, but we'll be talking Detroit first, right, Bill?
Right. Well, I think we'll talk what the Thursday night game for this week really fast.
Yes, because we're recording this on Thursday, and I think in 2 hours the game starts. So, who we're saying, the moment you hear this tomorrow, we're just saying who won. We'll instantly be right or wrong. So,
Exactly.
Bill, you tell me, did you change your pick, or does it stick? You picked Seattle.
It is sticking. I am sticking with the Seattle Seahawks. I think Jimmy Graham will have a big game against the 49ers defense, and I think Colin Kaepernick will have a terrible game.
Oh, you see, Bill, I picked Seattle before we got to this point, and I would pick them again, but it seems there are games they should be 4 and they should honestly be 4-2 actually, but they're not. They blew a game against the Rams, and then they let Carolina come back, and they should have lost to Detroit, but the refs suck.
Yeah.
So, speaking of that, we have irony in a minute, but I'm going to switch to San Francisco. Why? Because the Seattle defense really knows how to blow big leads, and I think that's what's going to happen. And the turmoil. But fear not, Seattle fans. The 12th man, Seattle might make the playoffs still because the NFC just sucks.
It's very weak this year.
I'll be honest.
very
I'll be
weak.
fair. Sometimes I think the AFC is also weak. I think this is... because there's those teams that are on the top, and everyone's just killing each other on the bottom.
Yep.
You get what I mean? It's just those bristling 6 on each side that are just doing great, while the rest are just doing terrible with like 2-4 and 1-5 records or something. Ugh.
Yep.
Let them
The
duke it out.
the undefeated teams are the creme de la creme, and the rest are just
Just a
mired
second, I
in
have to stop you there.
mediocrity.
Sorry about that. I just love people love interrupting me. So continue with what you're trying to say about the undefeated teams and who they were.
Oh, the undefeated teams are Green Bay, New England, Denver, um,
Carolina.
Carolina, and Cincinnati.
Yeah,
And
Atlanta got knocked off, of course, but
they're the creme de la creme of the league, and the entire league revolves around these teams right now, and the rest are below.
there are a
Because
few who are feisty, and they will make the playoffs if they play the way they are. Atlanta and
Arizona and Atlanta.
Birds. It's
Yep.
it's the year of the bird. Well, Seattle wasn't invited though. Ah. Oh, but it's okay, Seattle fans. I think they'll be fine because of just how bad the NFC is.
The NFC is in a state of disarray.
I wouldn't call it a state of emergency since there's like 2 teams that are undefeated.
But I mean, if it stays like this, even 1-5 Detroit still has a chance. And let's just hope it stays like this.
Yeah, for your sake, sure, but I don't know.
I
Anyway,
doubt it, but
so let's talk about Detroit. Detroit won an ugly shootout against Chicago. Jake Cutler was actually playing good. You know what? Fine. Keep playing okay, Jay Cutler, because I don't want the Chicago to draft a quarterback. I want Houston to get first picks at that shit. But
right.
Detroit pulled one out with Megatron getting his first 100-plus yard game of the season. 166 yards, including a crucial catch, not a reference to the breast cancer awareness thing, a crucial catch near the end zone to set up a Matt Prater field goal, winning in overtime 37-34. And by the way, there were only 3 minutes of overtime. Had that not worked, probably would have been a tie.
Oh, it was brutally ugly of a game, especially in overtime. But a win is a win, and I'll take a win any way, shape, or form that happens. But I'll tell you something. Guess what happened? The Lions decided to ditch Lombardi's idiotic offense, and he started calling plays that utilized his players' skill sets, including Calvin Johnson, etc. They started passing the ball, surprise, surprise, down the field. And look at what happened. It worked. Oh my God, Lombardi, maybe here's an idea. Do that more. Just keep doing that more, because then you open up Golden Tate. Then you open up the running game. Then you do stuff like that. But but the major thing that's wrong right now, besides the play calling on the offense, is the defense, and with how many people are hurt on the defense. Ahedebo didn't play that game. Nada didn't play that game. DeAndre Levy didn't play that game. And the defense showed the ill effects of them not being there and having Jay Cutler just pick them apart. They haven't been healthy the entire season. And 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 it's been a negative for this team. They just can't keep uh, relying on that defense staying on the field, especially with Stafford throwing picks at an alarming rate. Under Yeah, he only threw one, but I mean it's still one too many, especially at the current rate he was throwing them. You know, a zero in the interception column would be very nice heading into another matchup against a good defense. That Chicago Bears defense is not good, and they put up numbers against it. Now you're going against a better defense this week. You have to put up the same numbers. But I'll tell you the one thing I was most irked about that game. The the most irksome thing for me was the refereeing.
Can I say it? Can I say the little trivia?
Yep.
Fun fact: the very same ref group that announced that was in the playoff game that Detroit lost into Dallas. You know, the non-pass interference call that should have been called. That one. Those guys were there, and they did something that was just as weird, but this time it actually helped Detroit. But well, I'll let you say what you want, Bill, from here on.
They were a terrible refereeing group for both sides. It was the worst officiated game I've ever seen besides that playoff game. Surprise, surprise, by the same usual suspects. That crew has got to be fired or something. That is inexcusable. Even that call that went in the Lions' favor, it's inexcusable if you're an NFL referee that you do that. I just don't get it. I mean, I'll take it that he was going straight ahead and Blandino was quick to point out that he was in the act of running. so it wasn't to be questioned that day. But the NFL's rules and how they're interpreted are idiotic, and they need to be fleshed out and called correctly 100% of the time.
The way they're interpreted, you would think that these are Republicans trying to interpret the U.S. Constitution, but we save that. We save that for the political podcast.
Oh man!
So,
But
so Bill, you need to talk about Megatron though. But I will say, even I thought, as much as I want Golden Tate to just do great and get 200 touchdowns, I will say that was not one for him. I don't know how that went in their favor, but fine, I'll take it. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to deny that was a lucky break for the Lions. But
hey, we need
Megatron.
a lucky break. We're already -2 in luck because of the playoff game and because of the Seattle call. At least we got a +1 in luck in that.
Well, now you're at -1, so
I'm only -1. The NFL owes me one more.
I hope it goes in the Green Bay game, just because I want Green Bay to go defeated.
I would love to.
They'll lose a game, and I know what it is.
I would love to see a forward lateral from Green Bay, and it goes backwards, and they don't understand the ruling, and then they rule it a fumble, and they pick it up, and then it just run back, and then the review doesn't. The review confirms it, even though it's that would make my day. And Aaron Rodgers fumbles and gets returned all the way back in Lambeau. Oh,
I'd love that, just to stick it to them. But hey, at least you don't have that. Oh, Aaron Rodgers has thrown so many passes without an interception in Lambeau. That shit's done. That was even more annoying than the Kansas City wide receiver touchdown.
You know what's even more annoying? Listening to Detroit can't win in Green Bay. We've won in Green Bay in the past. We will win in Green Bay in the future. Just because they haven't won in a while, in 20 plus years, doesn't mean that they're not going to win in the future in Green Bay.
Green Bay is due for a loss at some point. I don't know who will do it in Lambeau in particular. Oh, how I would love for Dallas to do it, just to stick it to them, especially after that catch-no-catch thing. I would love that, but that's a dreaming for now. I mean, Romo and Dez have to come back first.
Right.
But anyway, so Bill, before we move on, I want you to talk to me about Megatron. How did he do?
Kelvin was old Megatron. The non-neutered by Lombardi Megatron.
Yes.
He was his old self. That's the player we had 2 years ago before Lombardi was here. Until they neutered him and made him run these idiotic routes for no reason.
Yeah.
This is the way that you have to play him. You throw it down the field. He's a Randy Moss type talent. He's a Randy Moss type caliber catcher of the football. You throw it up in his general direction, he'll come down with it. That's how you play with the best. That's his skill set. You don't go and give him stupid little idiotic routes and trying to fit your offense and make him run your offense. You cater the offense around that player's unique skill set. And there you go.
Well, Bill, I would say your transitioning skills are good, because I actually do want to talk about a player who I think is doing as great as Randy Moss would do, making great plays.
Exactly.
Bill, the AFC Offensive Player of the Week, Nuke da Bomb, or as his real name it goes, DeAndre Hopkins, catching an amazing catch with his helmet, and NFL media finally admits it. Odell Beckham's overrated, but DeAndre Hopkins is better than him. Anyway, in Jacksonville, what looked like to be an ugly game of two terrible teams just slugging it out, trying to get a win and get out of jail free, maybe, in the horrible AFC South, which every team deserves to go to NFL jail for being terrible. what looked to be a close game, and this is what almost showed it, make it look like. Let's set it up. The Jaguars going down the field, making the Texans defense look as terrible as they've been until a spark. Where I remembered last year's Houston defense, which was turnover heavy, and it happened. Andre Hall picks off what's Blake Bortles right in the end zone, right near at the edge of the end zone, preventing them from scoring. And it was a sign. After that, DeAndre Hopkins goes off even more, gets a touchdown pass as well. They 2 touchdown passes, and Andre Hall does it again, picks off Blake Bortles for a pick six right after the last touchdown by Houston. Houston gets a smooth, easy win, 31-20 against Jacksonville. DeAndre Hopkins. I say he is one of the top 5 wide receivers. Where do you stand?
Definitely top 5. He's number 1 in receiving yards. That counts for something. And look at who he's had throwing it to him. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins made Brian Hoyer look good when he's not really that good.
Yeah?
DeAndre Hopkins is a beast. He is a beast, and he's only going to get better. And that's what's scary about DeAndre, is he's not even reached his maximum potential yet. This is only his 3rd year in the NFL, I'm pretty sure.
Next year is his contract year.
Exactly. So, and that's even better, because here it is. He's not playing for money. If he was playing for money, he would have had his career year next year. This year, he's having a career year, leading the NFL in reception yards.
He made history,
that tells
too.
me something.
He got, for 3 straight games, over 145 yards and 9 catches.
Yep.
3 games straight. I'm hoping it might be 4 against the Dolphins, but who knows? I mean, hey, at least the Dolphins' secondary is not as good as it was last year. Not as good.
Right.
But I will say, DeAndre Hopkins, not just that helmet catch, also another one-handed catch. I can't describe how he moved his arm, but if you look up highlights of that game on YouTube or the NFL website, you'll know what I'm talking about. Man, anybody who had Megatron this week and DeAndre Hopkins this week on their fantasy must be happy. I mean, they're not as happy as Phillip Rivers fantasy owners, because oh god, they pretty much won half their season with Phillip Rivers' game alone. But so minus DeAndre Hopkins, let's move on from him because he's just playing phenomenal. Arian Foster is getting a little better. He caught a touchdown pass from Hoyer as well, the first touchdown pass actually. So he's still good when he catches the ball. He's a good catcher, but I want to say this week he could go off on Miami, but really, I don't know. But I think we'll talk more about that later. But I'm looking too forward to next week. But Foster's is getting better. As long as he stays healthy, Houston might still be in the race because, well, let's take a look at the lead team, the Colts, 3-3. They're only a game behind. If the Colts slip up and the Texans, or hell, even the Jaguars for that matter, or the Titans, the Titans, no way, not anymore. They could steal it from them. They should, because the Colts don't deserve to go in the playoffs.
The Houston Texans are going to be a force in the division this year. It's just, if they're going to be a force in the division at 8-8, remains to be seen.
I don't think it will happen, though.
Because of their quarterback situation. That's really the weak link on the team. They
are one of those teams that are a quarterback away from being a playoff contender. What?
They're a quarterback away from having a Seattle Seahawks type team with a great defense.
Yes. Like, the only other team I see that's in the same boat is actually the two. The Jets, because Fitzpatrick won't be the long-term answer because he's getting old. And the Browns, though really the Browns have their franchise quarterback, but they won't give him a chance. Make him play.
He probably won't be playing for a little while as well.
Yeah. I can only say that. Well, maybe if you made him the starter and put like not the pressure, but like the feeling of leadership, I think he might have set a better example. But
right.
It's just because that guy just doesn't trust McCown. I mean, not McCown. Doesn't trust Manziel, which I can understand. But I think regardless, you drafted this guy early. You need to see what he's got. But
Yep.
enough criticism of the Browns. Houston, I think they'll win one or two more games before entering the bye at most. I think they'll go. Let's see. They have this game against Miami. Then they have the Titans, and then they're off. I think they're off for the week. That's when they get the week off. So
Yep.
yeah, they can win one more, but I don't know. They could win two, and they'll be 4-4. I think. Yeah, they'll be 4-4. They'll be going.
Yep.
They'll be 500 going in, but that's possible. But it's highly unlikely because, well, the Dolphins are playing better. But yeah. Anyway, Bill.
Right.
I will say one other player to note. Whitney Merciless had his best game ever.
Ooh.
If I can check my Twitter to see, I retweeted the stats. It was the best game of his career yet. But then again, this is the Jaguars, so you shouldn't put too much stock into this. But by that logic, the same goes with the Dolphins. But let me try and find it. Watt was ill, of course. He was sick. He played. He got, I think, he did pressure Blake Bortles, and he did bat a ball away from him, so a pass deflected. It was an okay game for a sick Watt. But anyway, here are the stats. He had 3 tackles. I think those are for loss, maybe. 2 sacks, 7 QB hurries, and 3 quarterback hits. His best game. And that's because he just got a contract, this extension over the season. So good on him. And we'll see where they go, because this is the Houston defense I knew from last year. The Cornell defense works now. When Foster's running and moving the chains, letting the defense rest, it allows them to create more turnovers. Granted, they were both caused by one player. That's still It's still a nice thing when you have more turnovers, like Bill O'Brien said. Which that's the team I want to see. Move the chains with the running game, and also make deep throws to DeAndre Hopkins, because he can catch them. I don't think he's as good as Megatron in his prime, but I'm definitely not ruling him out as a top 5 wide receiver anymore, because, man, he made the leap already. He's made the leap to... He keeps it up, I think people will call him an elite wide receiver. I don't know why I keep saying quarterback.
And not to pat ourselves on the back, but we called this last year. That he was going to be something special, and he was.
Yeah, and the NFL media is slowly realizing it. I'm glad they are. I thought they were going to be more stubborn about it, until the end of the season where it's already over. But good job for catching up and admitting it, especially on the Odell Beckham part. I will thank them for that. Thank you, Elliot Harrison of NFL. He's the first one to say it. He's the guy that makes the power rankings, but yes, I had something else on my mind, Bill, but now that you said that, it kind of made me lose my train of thought.
Oh, jeez.
I think it's okay. I still say draft a quarterback, though, because sooner or later, Hoyer is going to slip up, because we know what he is. O'Brien can preach all he wants, but I think this will probably be that game. Not saying he'll switch, though, unless he gets hurt.
I mean...
know what?
You never know what Bill O'Brien's gonna do with Hoyer Mallet. He's proved himself to be very indecisive in that area.
Yeah, it's favoritism, basically. That's the unfortunate thing, but I remember what I was going to say.
Okay.
Do you didn't watch Hard Knocks? I don't think you did, or all of
Nope.
it. But A Hard Knocks a legend is returned to Houston. Picked up from the Baltimore Ravens practice squad is Charles James, the guy with the crazy socks. He was a Hard Knocks favorite. He's a safety, and because they lost Valentine for the season, they called for him, and he's back. I'm glad he's back. Though here's why I'm glad he's back. Should Foster ever get hurt again, which I hope not, I knock on wood as they say that, I think they might give Charles James another shot. If they know it's good for them, they will. Make him into a running back.
Right.
Because you see what the Patriots have done with Dion Lewis, a small, hard-to-catch running back that can outmaneuver big, heavy linebackers and go in for the score. That's what they need. Houston needs to complement Foster, that small stature running back who's got a lot of zip in his steps. But
exactly.
But on that note, speaking of Dion Lewis, the New England Patriots, Bill, the New England Patriots humiliated, not in a 50 bomb fashion, not a punishment like a spanking to the Colts, but a win's a win. And really the Colts humiliated themselves, but we'll talk about that later. Gronkowski had what you could say his weakest game since he came off his injury last year, but hey, you can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him. He still got an easy run touchdown for himself to take home. But regardless, Tom Brady played great. There was that one throw that wasn't his fault that went on the fault of Julian Edelman, who had a broken finger. I don't know if he's still able to play though. He probably will. At least.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he will.
Yes, but Julian Edelman had a great game till he got hurt. After that first touchdown he got, that's when he got his finger messed up. The pictures of it too. But because that happened, Amendola just stepped up and took care of business with old Tom Brady. And by the way, you know how the Lions have a like a cheese grater hat for whenever Green Bay comes to town?
Yes.
I think the Colts just found their version of that.
And it's called New England Offense.
No.
The New England offense went absolutely beast mode on the Colts defense.
Oh, Bill, what I was talking about was they have a hat now, like the Lions with the cheese grater, but it's a deflated football.
Oh jeez.
They're never gonna let that go. But it don't matter. They got wrecked. Because to the Colts fans who say they should have won, here's what I can tell you: get good, son. The Colts kept it competitive a little bit for the first half, but the second half it was all New England. New England had control over everything. And I mean, let's be real. If you took away that pick six, that was not Brady's fault, then what would the score be? It would have been 20-34. That would have felt humiliating, to be honest. That's really what the score was, in my opinion.
I mean, overall, the game really wasn't in doubt or in question. Once New England got going, they didn't stop. They put the pedal to the metal and just absolutely start stomping them.
Yep.
You know, and the worst thing that the Colts could have done was give the Patriots any sort of extra motivation, but the Colts, being the Colts, were the Patriots' motivation.
Let's be a little bit fair to some extent, because I know the Colts supported this idea. That bakery, which, why are anybody enjoying any bakery in the state of Indiana? Because you know how a certain one in the past was in regards to certain types of couples, but hey, that's for the political podcast.
Yep.
But there was one bakery who had the idea, not if it was just behind closed doors, like, oh, only the people of Indianapolis knew, like, it probably wouldn't have reached the Patriots' ears. But they had to call the Sunday Night Football crew, and they got it on camera. showed like a picture of a deflated football cake, a Patriots helmet cake, a Colts helmet cake, and cupcakes. I think it was cupcakes with the picture of Brady's face on it. You know, and I'm not talking about Brady's regular real life face. I'm talking about that poorly drawn courtroom picture during the Have you seen it, Bill? Have you seen them?
Oh my god.
If I remember,
Yes.
I will put a picture of those here. You will see it, and you will feel this. Oh God, they will make you say the Colts had this one coming. It's what you've been saying, Bill. Don't give the Patriots extra motivation to kick your ass.
See, another thing about Deflategate that was for that game, which I thought was amazing on Al Michaels' part, is he decided to troll Las Vegas by saying Deflategate 4 times in a row
Yes.
really quickly, and he mentioned Deflategate 5 times, and during the telecast he goes, "You always bet the over." I was like, yes, he thinks it's as stupid as the rest of everyone here does, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, overall, the game was fun. The game was amazing. But there's one thing everyone came away with some tears of laughter about.
Oh, it was laughter from Patriots fans and just casual football fans watching a good game, and tears of sadness. Like, I'm talking factory of sadness tears of sadness. And that says a lot. So basically, Cleveland Browns signs of pain.
Yep.
For I would say poor Colts fans, but no, shame on you. You brought this upon yourselves.
It was the greatest, the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen a lot of football, but this play was one of the dumbest in the history of football. It was that bad.
Okay, so basically, they were at the point, what we could assume was the point, because not many people have come to a reasonable conclusion, which I get. I don't blame anyone who couldn't think of a reason why, because trust me, I put family members who watch football longer than me on the spot and say, do you know what they were trying to do here? They didn't know. They moved all their offensive linemen to the right side of the field, their right side, which is a big problem because what happened after they snapped it, yes, they snapped it. They got a flag for illegal formation because, Bill, linemen can't be outside they can't be outside the hash marks, right?
Right.
That's because then they're considered an eligible receiver. But
Right.
so what they were trying to, what I assume, this is my own theory, to draw them off sides. They shouldn't have snapped it. Took the delay a game instead and just do it. But first off, why would you try to draw the Patriots offside? It's the only person I think that might have a chance to do that is Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think they'll fall for that shit. Especially seeing him do it to many teams. The Patriots would catch on to that, but outside of him, I can't think of anyone to draw him intentionally offsides.
I literally, I've watched, God, about 25 years of football. 25 years of football that I can remember. I've never seen a play like that. I don't know what they were trying, and it's just inexplicable what the Colts were thinking. That has got to be, I mean, if you look up a Football Follies, video 30 years in the future, let's say, that play will be there forever enshrined in the history of the NFL as one of the stupidest things that have ever occurred.
I would say maybe, I think it could be up for contention in general sports. I don't know if
I
it would be
mean,
the dumbest because there are dumb plays in every sport, right?
yeah,
Let's be
but
fair. That
I mean, oh, that in football, it's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. I mean, I've seen players run the wrong way on the field and score a touchdown against themselves, but you know, I mean, it's right up there.
okay, so many people mock them for this. Regular fans, their own Colts own fans, celebrities who were watching the game, and even college football teams. In fact, a team in Maine, the Black Bears. I linked this to you, Bill. I will try to put this here, Bill. I want you to see it. It's like 6 seconds long.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I watched it.
That is how you do a fake play. That is how you fool them. But even then, I don't think that would work on the Patriots. But just saying, Colts. But you know what? Fine. Don't learn your lesson. So try it on Houston and see what happens. Do it. By all means, do it. I want to see it backfire. And then, of course, there was another bad special teams call. They tried an onside kick, and it failed. Twice. Remember they tried one after they scored? And they thought they had it because at the end you saw a Colts player with the ball. But replay showed that a Patriot caught it first.
Right.
And once he's on the ground, knees or elbows touch the ground when he has the ball, and he's touched by another player, that's it. No matter what happens afterwards, it's his ball. You can knock it off, but if his body's on the floor, too bad. But there was another play where I would have loved it, but Gronkowski just went out of bounds at the end. What if he caught it and took it back for a touchdown, Bill? Imagine the despair on the Colts fans' faces. And we saw some pretty bummed out Colts fans throughout the rest of the game. I would have loved to see the despair on their faces. I sound like a terrible person, but hey, it's a division rival. I'll be getting the same punishment when New England comes to Houston. So, if you're not Colts fans, I'll be getting my just desserts someday. But Bill, I had no words for that myself. It was stupid, and I loved all the jokes made fun of it for. Like, you remember the banner they put up in Lucas Oil Stadium, the AFC Championship participant, or something like that. Have you seen the one where it says attempted worst play in football football history on Sunday Night Football?
I mean, if you're gonna start putting up banners for just going to the AFC title game, you deserve a banner that is mocking you on Twitter.
Yeah, they really did.
It'd be like putting up a banner for Detroit going 0-16. Had the worst season in NFL history.
Yes.
I mean, get the hell out of here. If you don't win a Super Bowl, you don't deserve... If you don't win the Super Bowl... I mean, NFC Championship, sure. Put up a banner for that, I guess. But if you don't win a World Series or a championship of anything, you don't deserve to be putting up banners.
Houston has only two, which I let it slide for now because they're a young franchise.
Like
13
division
years.
champions, sure.
Yeah, especially when you start out like Houston. If they do it again, I don't know if I'd let them get away with it that time.
Right.
But
I mean,
what?
Championships.
Yes, but Bill, now here's a question for you. Do you think the Colts still own their division, or can they? I'm not saying they will. They'll lose it. Do you think they can lose? They can blow it. And Chuck Pagano loses his job.
I think they can blow it. They don't have a defense, and anything's possible in the NFL.
Ooh, I would love for them to blow it, but it's fine. I won't mind if they do because I want Houston to just blow out their own games and force Bill O'Brien to draft a quarterback, whether he believes in Hoyer or not. The record shows. You know,
it'd be hilarious if a 6-10 Jacksonville makes the playoffs.
It would be hilarious if a 4-12 Titans make the playoffs and they don't have Mariota. Wouldn't that be a sight? Ha!
Oh,
But
I mean,
what?
really, theoretically, you would need every team in the division go 3-3, and then
Yeah, but who knows? This is the NFL after all.
Yep.
But Bill, now, since we're done with all our slates, because Dallas did have a bye, is there any other games you think are worth mentioning?
Worth mentioning? I'll mention, not really. There was some.
There are games
trying to
worth
think.
mentioning. I can bring them up and you'll start talking about them.
Yeah, you do
Okay. So first, there was the game where Aaron Rodgers was actually not Aaron Rodgers, but actually his spirit was in the other quarterback, in Phillip Rivers, who had his best game ever, but still didn't win. How did 500 yards not equivalent to over 30 points, at least?
I don't know, but that game, it just proves that one thing that I've been saying for years is that Green Bay has a terrible defense. Their defense is highly overrated, and the only reason why they win their games is, guess what? They have a great quarterback. Guess what? Great quarterbacks don't play defense. And that's where they're going to get beaten in the playoffs every single year, is on the defensive side of the football. The one year that they had an actual legitimate defense is the year that they went to the Super Bowl and won. The other times that they made the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers, they've had a terrible defense and they're highly overrated Clay Matthews. I mean, I'm so tired of listening to, well, Clay Matthews playing inside linebacker makes the Green Bay defense work so effectively. I don't care. If they were so effective, why did Phillip Rivers throw the football all over the field on this defense? Why was the San Diego Chargers able to move the football all over the field on this defense? If this defense is so good as they claim, then Phillip Rivers would not. If he threw 65 pass attempts, they wouldn't have been about 4 seconds away on a fourth down play from tying the football game.
Yes. I don't understand it. I was hoping the Chargers would pull the biggest upset in years, maybe. But,
I mean,
you know, the legend of Green Bay, Invincible in Lambeau, lives on, sadly. Though, what I took away from this is that this proves that they are not invincible at home.
Yep. Oh, I'll mention one other game.
What?
And that's the Pittsburgh Steelers game. The one, I forget who they played.
Cardinals.
Oh yeah, the Cardinals. And Pittsburgh played with Mike Vick, and he was ineffective. But when Mike Vick got hurt and they put in Landry Jones, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense started clicking.
I would say that was more of Martavis Bryant playing like the world was going to end.
Yeah, I mean, Landry Jones, though, came in and started lighting up a fire. And he had a good target to throw to in Martavis Bryant, who just came back from suspension.
Yeah, he played really good. He had a good catch, too, though. I'll still say, maybe this is my fanboyism kicking in, but I still don't think that would hold a candle to the helmet catch from DeAndre Hopkins.
Right. I mean, but overall, the Steelers looked better with Landry Jones in at quarterback, and really, they should start Landry Jones.
They are.
If Roethlisberger is still hurt.
I think they're going to make sure Roethlisberger's 100%, because if they win this next game, which I think they will, but that's for the picks, then they are within grasp of winning their own playoff spot because I mean, yeah, the Bengals are undefeated, but it's a division
I
game.
mean,
It can go either way.
the Ravens are practically done. The Cleveland Browns are not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
Wouldn't that have been nice for them to knock off the Broncos? They should have. They had plenty of opportunities in
and
overtime to do
that
it.
was that was the last game I was going to talk about was Denver and Cleveland because that was really close to being a huge upset. I mean,
Whoa.
Josh McCown, I I'm pretty negative about McCown, but he played himself a game, and then in overtime he can't make the critical plays, which is a McCowanism.
I would say that was basically him. He caught some of the Hoyer aura that got left behind in Cleveland.
Yes.
And they blew it. They should have ran the ball instead. But they didn't.
I mean, they had the Broncos on the ropes, and they let the Broncos back, and it was because of I feel a lot of issues, but I mean, in overtime, your McCown just folded under the pressure.
Yeah. It's sad. I mean, he did well in the first time in overtime last week against the Ravens, but not this time because he played a better defense, a much better defense with identity.
Oh yeah.
Though the Denver defense is in a bit of turmoil because DeMarcus Ware is hurt, so the
Yep.
bye week came at a perfect time. Though it won't be enough.
Right.
And I think Von Miller is a little shaken up. Same with Demarius Thomas. But I had two more games myself to mention. Well, a team in general and another game. The Panthers upset the Seattle Seahawks. The Panthers are almost playing like Dallas was last year, a team that was expected to drop. I said the NFC South should still be in turmoil. Still be terrible, maybe a little bit better, but no. The Panthers and the Falcons are doing great. Sure, the Falcons lost their first game, but I don't expect Carolina to stay undefeated. They're going to probably lose to, if anyone, the Falcons or Green Bay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Bill, I think you picked Carolina, so you should feel happy because you were like one of the few in the world who thought they would do it. Because it's
Right.
always been, if you go by history, Russell Wilson has always owned the Panthers. It was him. It's him and Cam Newton. He might be the next Brady v Manning, except I can't tell who's Brady and Manning. But if you go by their history, by this logic, Cam Newton will be Peyton Manning because he's won less. He's only won one, and Brady usually mopped the floor with Peyton almost all the time.
Oh yeah.
But who knows? Because this could be the start of a big momentum swing for Carolina and Seattle. Well, this is where everyone's starting to hit the panic button in Seattle. 12th man,
Yep.
like I said, fear not. I think you'll get in just on how bad the NFC is because I think it's very likely both Carolina and Atlanta get in. So there's only one spot then. Who takes it? Minnesota, maybe? Maybe you guys? I mean, I doubt anyone from the NFC East is getting in.
Right.
But so the other team I want to talk about, the Jets. Bill, the Jets with Fitzpatrick, they make me miss Fitzpatrick because he would have been much better than Hoyer and Mallet.
Yep.
And they're having a quiet, good season at 4-1. They beat the Washington football team with a pretty handy win. Brandon Marshall's also playing really good. It's making Chicago kick themselves in the ass for it, which they deserve it. I don't know why you give up Brandon Marshall because he got hurt in the Cowboys game last year. Oh, he got hurt. We don't need him anymore. He won't be good anymore. He can't come back from this, and he's playing lights out. So
Yep.
the Jets, they might be a wild card team. I don't know. I mean, they've beaten mostly weaker teams. They want to get some good ones. I mean, they upset
Yeah.
the Colts. They're the reason why the Colts suck, along with Buffalo. But I don't know. I'm not giving it to the Jets just yet because I'm still a little suspicious. But hey, good coaching for them.
Yep.
If
I mean,
what?
they're one of the biggest surprises. I don't know how long they'll keep it up for, but they're still a big
You mean
surprise.
they're a bigger surprise than the Bengals? Because everyone thought the Bengals would be 2-4 at this point.
I didn't think the Bengals would be that bad.
But did you think they'll be perfect so far?
No.
Yeah.
I thought they would have at least lost one or two.
To Seattle, maybe, probably.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? Before we go on to the picks, Bill, you know how I said sooner or later? I think during in 2 weeks from now, because that's when we'll probably talk the playoff stuff, playoff predictions.
Yep.
I know I'm not asking you everything. I just want to know where you stand with the NFC East because they are just no good. It's
I feel like I really feel like a 7-9 team could come from that division and be in the playoffs.
But who do you think it might be? Everyone's saying Philadelphia because of how handily you could say handily they won if you look at the box score, but I didn't watch the game and I had a friend of mine who's a fan of the Eagles tell me it was ugly. He said none of these
Yep.
teams both of them should have lost. They should have counted it as a tie. They shouldn't have won this easily. Bradford threw 3 picks. Manning threw 2 as well. 1 for a pick 6, I believe.
I'll be on the Philadelphia bandwagon at 7-9, making the playoffs.
You see, I want to
I
do
don't-
that, but as long as Sam Bradford's at QB, I don't believe it. And what?
I don't believe Des Bryant's coming back soon.
I don't think
be honest.
he's coming back this week. I don't know about next week, but
I feel like he's still 3 weeks away, and
so him and Romo
know,
come at the
that's-
same time.
that's still 3 weeks too long. That's Thanksgiving almost. And it's nearly the end of the season. Yeah. I mean, you would have to make a big time run, and to think that you're gonna win all of your games after right around Thanksgiving and beyond, it's more likely than not that that's not going to happen.
Okay, well then. All right, Bill. As things stand now, Matt Castle will be the quarterback for this week against the Giants. I don't know what you have them picked for, but I have Dallas beating them because look at how terrible the Giants are. And maybe it's a little bit of fanboyism on my part, but when I hear among these, when these 4 teams rank, I think Dallas's defense is the best of the 4, at least in terms of front 7, because of the addition of Greg Hardy. That said, I think the most well-rounded offense might be the Giants, but I don't know what's going on with them. They are just playing terrible.
I feel the Eagles are starting to gel together. That's what's happening.
You see, I would think that, but look who they play this week. Carolina. They're about to lose their number 1 spot just as fast as they got it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's gonna be a 7-9 team, and it'll probably be a tie, and it'll go down to the tiebreakers, and it'll be an Eagles in the playoffs.
Really, the Cowboys need to focus on winning their division games. They win them all, they're fine. Because look, Romo, if you're saying 3 weeks from now, that means Dez could make it either at the Eagles game when they host the Eagles on November 8th, or week after against the Buccaneers, which that's an easy win. And the week after that, that's when Romo comes back. They could easily win, I say, 3 out of 4 of those, or 3 out of 5 of those games. So, who knows? I think they just need to win against the Giants and the Eagles and the Buccaneers until Romo comes back, and then I think they'll be fine. But I'm going Dallas because I trust their defense a lot more than the Philadelphia Eagles, because you see how much Chip Kelly loved them when he wanted to trade half of them to the Titans for Marcus Mariota. But you have the Eagles, I have the Cowboys, but if the Eagles get in, they're still going to get fucking murdered by whoever goes to their place, probably Seattle, or I don't know, Atlanta.
Whoever.
It'd be worse if it's Atlanta, but or Carolina. One of those 2 teams they might play, but yeah. All right, Bill, it's time to talk picks. We already
Oh,
talked
man.
of Thursday night with the Seattle Seahawks and 49ers. It's time to move on to the Sunday games.
Sunday.
Sunday morning, actually.
The morning game on Yahoo streaming. It is from London. It is the Buffalo Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh boy, this would have been so fun if you're a Bills fan, but I don't know. I have Buffalo stealing this one barely at the end of the game.
I have the Buffalo Bills also beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. I feel it's going to be close, but I feel like they'll rise to the occasion just because they're in London, not Buffalo.
Yeah.
That's the furthest thing from London.
Well, the Jaguars are even farther. To be fair here.
Next up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Washington Football Team.
Oh boy, this one's gonna be an ugly game to watch. I have the Washington Football Team getting a comfortable win, and Jameis Winston's gonna throw a pick six.
I also have the Washington Football Team. I just trust their defense and their offense a little bit more than Tampa Bay.
By the way, the Thursday night game is already started. Ha!
Indeed.
So next game.
Next up is the Atlanta Falcons at the Tennessee Titans.
I have the Atlanta Falcons just pummeling them. This will be a shutout in Tennessee. If Mariota were around, I might have actually said this could have been a little interesting, but no way. Only watch if you're a Falcons fan. Atlanta has this in the bag.
I also have Atlanta winning comfortably against the Tennessee Titans.
Back on track.
Next up, the New Orleans Saints at the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh boy, the Colts. I want to say they take this one comfortably, and I'll go with it. But I won't be surprised if the Saints pull this one out of their ass.
For me, it's a battle of two terrible defenses, and it's going to be a scoring a lot of points, and I think whoever gets the ball last will win, and it'll be the Indianapolis Colts. So Indianapolis by like 3 points, like 41-38 or something like that.
Ugly.
Next up is the Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions.
I'm going to pick Detroit to win an ugly mess. I call for a fumble caused by Minnesota, return for a touchdown. Ziggy Ansah's going to get 3 sacks on Teddy Bridgewater. It'll be nice, but it'll be ugly. It'll be another ugly game.
The Minnesota Vikings will defeat the worst team in football, the Detroit Lions. And I'm just saying that they're the worst team in football, so that way I hopefully don't jinx them.
The worst team to me is Jacksonville or the Titans right now, but I would say the Titans right now.
I want the Lions to win, so I'm picking the Vikings to hopefully extend the streak.
All right, Bill.
So next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, this is ugly. This is also ugly, but let's be honest. At least the Steelers have enough talent on offense to make this game watchable. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers winning with Le'Veon Bell and Martavis Bryant making fantasy owners happy. Very happy once again.
I have the Kansas City Chiefs defeating the Steelers.
What?
The Steelers have no defense, and really their best hope is Landry Jones, and I feel like Kansas City's defense is going to show up this week.
Oh, you got an upset, Bill. That's your upset of the week.
Oh man.
You got it.
Next up, the Cleveland Browns at the St. Louis Rams.
Game of the year right here. And I have the Rams getting back on track as well. Todd Gurley running for 200 yards. I am not exaggerating, Bill. 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. making himself a candidate for rookie offensive player of the year. The Rams
The
win it
Ram
comfortably.
the Rams will not set their turf on fire this week, and they will come out and they will set their turf on fire with good play as they burn down the Cleveland Browns.
Bill,
I have the Rams winning.
if you didn't say that last part, I was gonna say, Bill, no, they are gonna win. They are gonna set the field on fire. When Todd Gurley runs so fast, he sets the field on fire. You see his burn marks all over the turf.
Where he's running at 88 miles per hour.
He's gonna go into the future when the Rams win the Super Bowl. Maybe.
Oh,
I
man.
won't get ahead of myself for them.
Oh man.
All right, Bill.
Next up is the Houston Texans at the Miami Dolphins.
All right, Bill. I am going to stick with my gut and go with Houston. I don't think I'll get this one because the Dolphins did revamp themselves after cutting off their coach, but I have to realize, just like with the same case with Houston and the Jaguars, beating the Jaguars because the Jaguars are the Jaguars, the Dolphins did so great because they played the least talented football team in the NFL, which they're even less talented. I know, that's hard to believe because Mariota's out. I have the Houston Texans stealing one because apparently the Dolphins really suck at home. I've noticed.
I am going to go with the Miami Dolphins. I feel like they're gonna show up at Miami for one win and then they'll be disappointing.
Wow, I thought you were gonna vote in spite of them because of the Dominican Sue.
I just can't. I can't do it. Brian Hoyer's at quarterback. I can't do it.
But Bill, Hoyer didn't wrong you. Sue did. This is like
I know, but
this is like picking for Schwartz's team.
It'd be like me picking a Josh McCown-led team. It's just not going to happen. I can't do it.
If you say so.
I can't do it.
Wuss.
Next.
I'm kidding.
Next up, the New York Jets at the New England Patriots.
The Patriots are going to win a close one. I'll be honest. This one is going to be a bigger test than I would think it would be. Before the season began, people thought, oh, the Patriots can drop a 50 bomb. No, I don't think so. They'll win, but they'll win by like 7 points at most. The Patriots squeeze this one out.
I have the New England Patriots winning, and I think it'll be close too, actually.
Like I said, but however, if the Jets lose, it's because the Patriots made Fitzpatrick look terrible.
Right.
Because you know how they do. They always take away the best thing, but the best thing for them is Brandon Marshall. So Brandon Marshall might have a quiet game.
Next up, the Oakland Raiders at the San Diego Chargers.
I want to hear your pick for this one, Bill.
Okay. San Diego's defense is non-existent. Oakland's got a good offense, and Oakland's defense is sneaky decent, but, I mean, Phillip Rivers going off last game.
Do you think he can do it again against a better defense?
I think what we're going to see here is an overtime game.
Okay.
And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm picking the Oakland Raiders.
Oh, that's the way to go. I am also picking the Oakland Raiders. The black hole comes to San Diego. Charles Woodson's going to pick off Phillip Rivers. Because that guy will play until he's 100.
Hey, look, it's the battle of future Los Angeles teams, too.
Yep, and I think whoever wins this just made a case for the other team. And I think that's what the Raiders are going to do. Send the Chargers to L.A.
Or they'll tie and then send each other to LA.
Well, they have another game, so that other one might settle it. But
True.
I'll go with Oakland, and Amari Cooper scores a touchdown.
Next up, the Dallas Cowboys at the New York Giants.
The New York Giants, the offense, which I think is the best one of these four teams, given the QB situation in Dallas, but they're not doing anything. And Odell Beckham's showing that he's not the greatest wide receiver on the planet. I have the Cowboys, because of their better defense, stuffing any run game the Giants throw at them, making Eli Manning uncomfortable, and throwing another pick six. The Cowboys will be carried by the defense.
And both secondaries are in shambles. But what separates it for me, I'm gonna pick the Giants, and hear me out in just this way. I'm not. This is like a 51% pick right here. I mean, it's like a squeaker picking the Giants. I guess I trust Eli Manning more than Matt Castle. That's about it.
I understand, but I just don't.
It's just it's picking two terrible defenses, and which one's gonna play better is.
I think
Dallas'
Dallas' defense is terrible. It was like 2 years ago and bad the year before.
I mean,
but it's much better where it is now.
I mean, with Lee and Greg Hardy, it's better
and
rushing
McLean,
the passer.
And McLean, he's back too.
But if they throw the football down the field, who's gonna cover those wide receivers? You know, that's where they're the most vulnerable, and that's where they need to really stock up. And both teams are terrible at it. You know, but the big thing is that Dallas doesn't have Dez.
I'd counter that with the fact that the Giants have no real pass rush because JPP is still not there. I think he went to the Giants building Tuesday, but there's no way he'll sign by then and be ready to play on Sunday. He still would have to go through at least 2 weeks of a little bit of rehabilitation, getting readjusted to the system. So there's no defensive threat on the front seven.
Like I said, it's a 51-49 pick. It's really splitting hairs.
I get it, but we'll have to see.
Oh man! Next up, the Sunday night game: the Philadelphia Eagles at the Carolina Panthers.
Last time these two had a game, it was also a primetime game, a Monday night game at Philadelphia, and the Eagles with Mark Sanchez just punished the Panthers. I think it's going to be the exact opposite now. The Panthers going to deliver punishment, and Sam Bradford's going to throw 4 picks and get benched. I have the Panthers doing this.
I also got the Panthers playing well on defense, shutting down the Philadelphia offense, and winning.
Awesome.
And the Monday night game, which looked good at the beginning of the year, not so much anymore. The Baltimore Ravens at the Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona is just got their asses handed to them. Bruce Arians should have won that game against Pittsburgh just to give a fuck you to them, but it didn't happen. So he's going to take it out on Pittsburgh's rival, the Baltimore Ravens. I'm calling for a 40-point bomb against the Ravens. Carson Palmer is going to do his job and actually get switched out for another QB to end the fourth quarter.
I also got the, what's it called? The Cardinals defeating
the Ravens.
Baltimore. Yeah, very easy.
Alright, Bill. We have a Thursday night game to cover in case we're not going to make it on time.
Yep. Just in case, the following week is the Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots.
I don't care where Miami stands after this week. They don't stand a chance against the Patriots. I have the Patriots just punishing the Dolphins as well, staying undefeated.
The Miami Dolphins are going to get stomped. And I'm going to enjoy every second of it when Ndamukong Suh is just driven into the ground, play after play after play, just driven into the ground by the Patriots offensive lineman where he can't even rush them.
Yep. Hey, Bill, since we're done,
Yep.
I think it's nice. It would be good to word this. Where things stand now in the game, the Seahawks are winning. So now, I don't know if I should be a total bitch and switch my pick now, or should I stick with it? But I'm gonna have to stick with it because I'm
you're
kind of
sort
cheating.
of stuck.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cheat my way out of it. Now that the game started, it's locked. So yeah,
You're stuck.
my
Now-
fate was sealed. But who knows? They might come back. I mean,
By the end of the game, you never know what'll happen.
San Francisco got a first down, so who knows?
Oh man.
But anyway, that'll do it for this week. We'll see you next week in week 8, I believe. And by then, all teams will be playing for that one. I think we'll be getting ready for the next London game as well, right? I think. With Detroit
Right.
playing the Chiefs, the horrible
Yep.
Chiefs. But we'll see you
Yep.
guys next week.